Shalom Akyam and Akwaf. This is Quan coming through once again with another video or segment, or really just a brief dialogue from me. I just wanted to speak on a few things in regards to this coronavirus, and I wanted to speak particularly in regards to the money system, because the money system has a lot to do with this quote-unquote pandemic. And it's all prophecy, as some of you may know, but basically the money that we use in regards to like this paper money that we use is known as fiat money. And fiat money is just paper money that's not backed by any natural resources, because real money is natural resources. And basically, in 1913, you had the Federal Reserve Act. And the Federal Reserve Act was set up for means of control based off of, credit and usury. But they want you to believe that it's all based in, the Federal Reserve being a federal alignment with the United States. But it's a privately owned bank, and it's a national bank that's presided over by the international bankers. You feel what I'm saying? And you have a Federal Reserve System, or a national bank, in every country. Because every country, as far as the citizens, are debt slaves to that government. And in the United States, it's no different. We are all debt slaves to the money that's owed to the Federal Reserve by the United States. And we did not incur this debt, but we pay off the debt by doing what? By working. Because we act as collateral. Because our birth certificate and our social security number, they are what we call bonds. And a bond is just a promise to pay. It basically acts as, leverage or collateral. You feel what I'm saying? And what we got to understand is that gold was outlawed in 1933. And this was right before Theodore Roosevelt had brought in the New Deal. Or around the time where, not Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he had brought in the New Deal. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what basically plunged us into deep debt in regards to outlawing the gold. And the New Deal was just based in so-called black people, well, people in general, but more so black people having to depend on the government based off of the reformation of, social services and food stamps, so on and so forth. That's what FDR had brought in when they outlawed the gold, because they wanted everybody to depend on the government rather than having a society that's based in sovereignty and being fruitful. And we have to understand this. The debt, as far as like the United States debt, is at like $22-23 trillion. And the reason why that is because the Federal Reserve keeps printing money. And when you keep printing money, that is known as inflation. And it's funny because the 14th Amendment tells you that they shouldn't be doing this to us, while the 16th Amendment tells you that it's okay for them to do this to us. So it basically contradicts itself. And that's no surprise, because America is a big-ass contradiction and a big fucking lie and a farce. And we all know this already. And it's important for us to understand the truth, because they don't want us to know the truth. They don't tell you in the school books, in the history books, or in your economics class. They don't tell you about this stuff. You feel what I'm saying? We have to understand that the system that we're governed under, or that we're governed by, is based in credit. It's based in usury. And we're not supposed to be living like that. We're supposed to be living in a stable economy. And this is why you have this quote unquote pandemic, or a part of the reason why you have this quote unquote pandemic, so they can just take your money. So it can be easier for them to put you in a system that's based in, let's just say, soft martial law, communism, you being in a class system with other races to where you forsake your culture. This was all based in Marxism. This was all based in what they wanted as far as dominionship. And just going back to the understanding of the money system, the reason why the RFID chip is going to be implemented is because of, well, number one is because of prophecy. It's going to come to pass. But number two is because they're trying to think of a way to make it palatable to the masses, because they know that the crash is coming. They know that the stock market is going to crash. And it's not going to be like 1929. Like, this shit going to really be real. You feel what I'm saying? Even though it was legit in 1929, but that was based in something that was forced. You feel what I'm saying? This is more so forced, but this is also based in a debt that we didn't incur, as far as U.S. citizens. And basically what that's going to do is, like I said, it's going to force them to implement the RFID chip, which is a new form of currency. So that way they can make it as if it's stable, because the natural resources is not backing anything. Natural resources are gold and silver, or what you would call consumption goods like livestock, crop, so on and so forth. Things that you would grow in the farm, those are consumption goods. Those are natural resources as well. And this is why you have rumors of wars and so on and so forth, as far as like, China and United States, North Korea, so on and so forth, them having to fight each other over the oil, because the oil is what is known as natural resources. I remember when you had something called the colonial script, in which it was basically used as substantiation for an economy being, financially stable, because they had natural resources that backed their money. Like, money is okay. Money paper is okay as long as you have something backing it in regards to something substantive. As far as natural resources, gold and silver would be something that would substantiate paper money. Because back in the days, when someone would have like gold and silver and they like gold and silver coins, like a big bag of it, they would turn it into a bank, and the bank would give them a receipt that would act as paper currency, because it would substantiate, or it would note how much one would have in gold or silver. But being that they outlawed it, and they tell us that these notes that we use, like a $5 bill or $1 bill or $10 bill, is real money, we spend it, and all we're doing is levying a tax. So based off of your labor, like your prognosticated labor, you generate millions and millions and millions of dollars for the Federal Reserve, because your birth certificate is on a stock exchange. Your real birth certificate is held in Sweden somewhere, or Switzerland, I believe. But the money that we use is not real money, and this is why you have an increase in debt. So when we go to the store, we buy something or what have you, all we doing is levying a tax. We exchange a piece of $10 bill for a $20 bill. It's no different than you exchanging two pieces of paper. Of course, Congress can coin it as money, but it's not substantiated by anything. People must understand the intricacies of this society that we live in regards to the credit-based system. And all they do is lie to you. Like, you guys should read a book called Creature from Jekyll Island to give you a better understanding of how all this stuff was set up. Even when you go back to 1776 with Adam Weishaupt and his plans to basically maintain dictatorship in regards to communism and Marxism and so on and so forth. We are seeing it in this very day. We are seeing it, and we've been seeing it for years. We've been seeing it ever since 1871. Like, we've been seeing this shit since 1871, when America was incorporatized. You know what I mean? All wars are fought over natural resources, over money. It's never fought over the rights of citizens. Never. It's always fought over money. So basically, this coronavirus is basically a tool that's used, like I said, to conceal what they're trying to bring in regards to this new RFID chip. This is why you have Trump talking about the crash is coming, because of the advent of this coronavirus, where people, they got people not being able to get within, I guess, 3 feet of each other, or we got to stand away from each other because of this social distance kind of stuff. All this shit is based in soft martial law, because martial law is one of the keys to implement a new form of currency that they want to force on people. You feel what I'm saying? And they want to test it with this coronavirus shit. And this coronavirus shit is just a quote-unquote concoction that was based in something that came from bats, and it being mostly affected by Chinese people and people that's over 45 years old. You feel what I'm saying? And they're trying to use this whole corona shit as a new form of martial law, instilling soft martial law. Like, they have people talking about, there's people that's coming from the coast to come to New York and California in regards to like national authorities, militaristic groups. That sound like martial law. You got people that's coming to basically utilize some form of authority over the masses or the people in those regions in regards to California and New York City, where I live. I live in New York City, so this is affecting me, but not necessarily affecting me because I'm into the spirit. I'm into the Most High. I'm not into this world. We have to unplug from this world. This world is not for us, which is, what we can read in the book of John. I believe it's 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. So it's very important for us to understand what's going on. And we have to have an understanding of the monetary system in order for us to understand what's really going to come. Because when the monetary system falls, all hell is going to break loose. All hell is going to break loose. Revelation 13 and 16 tells you that. You know what I mean? In regards to the chip. So we must understand what time it is and what we need to wake up to, because we living in these last days and the time draweth nigh. So it's important for us to wake up. So I just wanted to, break that down a little bit. If you guys got any questions for me, if you guys want to know more, I'll be doing an addendum to this, and I'll be, touching on it further in depth. But I just wanted to get a little brief point across in regards to, the spirit galvanizing me to do so. So I thank you guys, and God bless you all. Shalom.